Hey guys, it's That One Apple Guy back at it again, another video, and today we're going to be looking at the Samsung Galaxy A11 in 2025, and boy is this one bad. Look at how dirty this thing gets, especially the screen. That's because it don't have a good oleophobic coating, and I've said this on the A01 series video, I believe, and the A03. It has a stupid coating where it does not like to be clean. Like, for instance, this Motorola, as you can see, it's a little bit, fingerprinty. But if I go ahead and take a towel to it, all of those fingerprints disappear. Well, with this, get some fingerprints on, which is super easy with this, by the way. Clean it off, same amount. There is still fingerprints on there. Now, how much you scrub, there's going to be some type of fingerprint and some type of, halo on the screen. It's never going to be clean, as you can see. There's still, fingerprints, some haloing. It's just never clean. Well, this one, besides that, because I think that's just, as you can see, pretty sparkly. And I wiped this one more. So, yeah. First of all, build quality, very bad, very cheap. Plastic backplate, glossy, cheap. Fingerprint. Cameras, which are glass. Plastic sides. Right side, power, volume. Up top, headphone jack, mic. To the left, micro SD card and SIM card tray. And towards the bottom, we have our mic, USB-C port, and speaker. And up front, we have our screen, which we'll go over more in depth later. But very cheap. It's thin. It's like you could bend this right off. It's like jerry-rig everything would not approve. So let's go ahead and set this up here. Take all my information. Why don't you? Boom. Turn that off. Junk. Yep. I'm hitting agree. Okay, Wi-Fi. Full account. And yeah, this phone sucks. It was on getting your phone ready for 5 minutes. Let's set up the fingerprint here. Let's do a super secure pin. Boom. And let's try this guy out. This phone is cheap, but it does have a fingerprint, so that's one thing going for it. Let's see how quick we can set it up. Super quick. Boom. We'll see if that scanned correctly. This phone is so slow. No. 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 Next. No. How many freaking things is it gonna pop up? No. 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 This better be it. Yes. Whew. That took a while. Let me install video cut out. Let me install some apps. Oh, look at this home screen waiting to load. Wow. Okay, so we finally got some apps installed. Let's go ahead and review them. First off, device info. So as you can see, Galaxy A11, the software is Android 12, so not too old, 2022 software, which I think is plenty for this. It has a Snapdragon 450. It's slow, but performs better than something you would see in an A01 or an A03s. It does have a 720p screen at 60 hertz. It's a 5.3 inch or 5.4 inch. That can't be right. It's about 6.4 inch. But it's very bad. It has bleeding on the bottom. As you can see, a light bleeding there. And light bleeding around this hole punch here. It's a very low resolution screen. I do love the hole punch. That is a good addition, but very thick bezels, huge bezels, and just not the greatest quality in the world. If you push on it, you can see the LCD flicker a bit there. Just signs of this cheap LCD screen. So, yeah, pretty cheap screen. 2 gigabytes of RAM, 32 gigs of storage. Terrible. 2 gigabytes of RAM ain't gonna get you too far, as well as 32 gigs, so it does have micro SD card expansion, so that is a plus on that part. 4,000 milliamp hour battery, plenty. I don't think you really have issues, but it only does do 15 watt charging, but not too big of a deal. So that's about it for that. Let's go ahead and load up Facebook. So Facebook loads right up here. As you can see, it's a little bit laggy. Let's look at this Porsche. Nah, stupid. So you can look, you can, zoom in. It's just a little bit slowly, a little bit slow and a little bit stuttery. But not terrible. Okay. Blur that. Let's go ahead and go into Facebook Marketplace. And as you can see some things there. Cool. And goes right home there, so Facebook works good. Go ahead and close that app out, and let's go into Instagram. Okay, letting that load. Pretty quick there. Don't want to get copyrighted there. Let's turn this volume down. Yeah, actually pretty smooth scrolling once you get into it. Not bad. Go into Reels. Reels work fine. They're just a little bit stuttery, but works fine. Cool. Closing that one out, let's go ahead and launch up TikTok Lite, see how that works. Again, do not try any regular TikTok on this, it will crash. And as you can see, all the fingerprints. This thing is just terrible screen-wise. But, slipping transmission. Let's actually watch this video real quick.
Truck you can actually wrench on. Whoa! With a leaking rear main seal, a factory fresh cracked dash, and a transmission that slips just like the real thing. That sounds real. Swap it. Introducing the second-gen Dodge Ram 1500
What is going on with this AI stuff? But yeah, pretty good there.
The guy wants to know how old
these little things are. Rigid.
Spears. Whoa.
This was the Cybertruck that got polished, and they ended up calling.
We got letters from people
It's tinny, but it's loud.
online and physical letters that
Yeah, this poor guy here from 3 Doors Down.
handed me.
Sad to hear. But anyways, TikTok Lite, perfectly fine. Let's go ahead and try out some, like gaming, Geometry Dash Lite here. Just some simple, run-of-the-mill tasks. If you're waiting in a weight room in a doctor's office or something, you'd probably play this game for 2 seconds. And no lag. This thing's actually performing really well so far. For how bad the build quality is and how low of RAM, I just suck at the game. It's performing way better than something we'd see in a Galaxy A01, which was the lower model below this, and the Galaxy A03s, which is a lower model, but it's a couple years newer, so you'd think it'd be, match or better with performance, but it's actually worse, so. And that's part due because that phone has an Exynos chip, or no, a MediaTek chip. This has a Snapdragon, and Snapdragons, for me, very reliable. Like, even such a very low-end chip like this is more reliable than something you'd see in, MediaTek or Exynos. So, just to take for granted there, if you have a phone that has a Snapdragon chipset, you should be set for quite a while because they're super reliable chips. The phone is getting the slightest bit warm, but it didn't take long to download apps. And this is a very, very low-tier Snapdragon chip. This is below budget. And it is performing really well. It's also very old. This phone came out in 2020. The chipset probably came out around 2018. So, there goes some Rokus. Remember Roku Reviews 1098? Those were the days. Still have those videos up, by the way, if anybody wants to check them out. They're pretty cringy. They're pretty bad. But Asphalt 8 looking up. We're just going to do the tutorial just because I don't want to wait for it to load, ironically. So, race now. Minigame. And I remember getting this for Christmas as an early present. And I was so excited because I was all about this hole punch. But now you look at it, oh, yeah, that's cool. The screen sucks though, but it was a good phone at the time. I mean, you can't give it slouch. This was a $200 phone, and it's actually, well worth its $200 back then. Especially for, you're getting a lot. If you think in 2020 budget phone standards, we're in the COVID era. Everything's going downhill. And then they come out with the A11, a bigger screen than the A10e. You're getting a hole punch, a triple camera setup compared to that single sensor. Everybody was raving. I remember when I got this also, I'm like, ooh, ultra wide. First time having an ultra wide in a phone. I was pretty mind blown on an ultra wide, even though this ultra wide sucks, which we're gonna look at soon. But it's a bad ultra wide. But at the time, having an ultra wide on a budget phone was absolutely crazy. So if you think about the time span we were in for a $200 phone or less, this thing's a pretty good deal for the time. So yeah, we did have the A51 and stuff like that, but that was a mid-range. That did have crazy features. That had, an in-screen fingerprint reader and stuff like that. Then we had the S20 series coming out, which changes the whole game for Samsung, but the A11 was still a budget king back in the day. It sold millions of units. It's crazy. The A10 series every year just sells and sells and sells. Tons of units. Like a crazy amount. But this is performing fine. Now, I don't know when this game ends. I'm trying to see here because I kind of want to do a full race here just to see if I see any lag spikes, which I doubt. Yeah, I think we're going to be perfectly fine on this one. As you can see, we get some boost there. This was running perfectly fine. A little bit warm, but not much at all. Completely usable. I could use this for gaming. So, Asphalt 8 works fine. Lastly, I want to run a Geekbench 5 test. Let's first look at these cameras here. We're getting a 12 megapixel main sensor. No, a 13. A 5, I believe, megapixel ultra wide, and a 2 megapixel macro here. So as you can see, you get your 1x, your 0.5x, and your 8x zoom right there. You're also going to be getting your video, which maxes out at full HD 30 or HD 30 FPS. Ultra wide is full HD 30 as well. You are going to be getting not many modes here, Pro and Panorama, also with portrait mode. So that's what it is, not a macro, it's a depth sensor. 2 megapixel depth sensor for portrait mode. So no slow motion, no time lapse, nothing. None of the gimmicks. And the ultra wide kind of looks like a fisheye lens. So if you like that, that's fine, but it kind of can be used as a macro a little bit. It's not a great ultra wide. The main sensor, let's see. I think it's dull with colors, I believe, when I had this. Yeah, it's very dull. It's blurry. You kind of have to hold it very still. Takes a minute for the picture to load in. It's not that great. It's clear, but it's definitely low on colors, and you really have to hold that camera still. Let's try out the ultra wide. Take a couple. Yeah, the ultra wide super blurry. Not clear at all. The colors are even worse. This is a very bad ultra wide camera and a very bad camera in general, but it's 2020 and a triple camera setup for that time was absolutely crazy, even though it's technically a dual lens, and some people could even call it a single lens or no lens because the cameras are so bad. But yeah, let's try out that fingerprint that we very fast set up. It works. Okay, how about this finger? It works. Let's try it again. Not bad. Alright, let's run this Geekbench test, and I'm going to run a little timer going on here. See how long this takes. Actually, I'm not going to do a timer. Let's just hit it with it. It actually didn't take that long, but as you can see, the score is not great. But overall, it's not a bad performer. I wouldn't use it in 2025 personally. I think there's a lot better. Galaxy A15, if you're just using this as like a secondary with no service on it, just go with the Galaxy A15 5G through Straight Talk or the Moto G 2025. Go ahead and take a thumbnail. Then we can end this video off here. I do not think it's worth it.